quiet neighborhood, where laughter and the scent of home-cooked meals filled the air, there lived a family that appeared to be perfect on the outside. Alex, the older sibling, was known for being responsible and devoted. She put her family first, working diligently at her job to provide for them all while ensuring that everyone felt loved and cared for. With kind gestures and thoughtful words, she earned the reputation of the family's rock. Beneath this picture-perfect facade was a storm brewing, one that Alex could feel deep in her bones. Her brother Mark was charming and charismatic, often seen as the golden child by their parents, John and Linda. He played the role of a loving husband, effortlessly always attending school events with his children, and showering his wife with affection in public. Fears of doubt began to cloud Alex's mind when she noticed subtle changes. Late-night phone calls that always seemed urgent but left no room for questions. While tidying up after dinner, Alex overheard a conversation through the thin walls of their home. Mark's voice rang out clear as he spoke intimately with someone named Jessica. A warmth in his tone sent chills down her spine. It was an unmistakable sign of something sinister lurking within their family dynamic. Each word drilled into Alex's heart like nails. They were not just casual exchanges, but rather hints of an affair hidden behind closed doors. Born between loyalty to her brother and protecting her family's integrity, Alex found herself trapped in a moral quandary. Confront him? Would exposing Mark only create rifts that would shatter their family apart? As days turned into weeks filled with sleepless nights spent wrestling with these thoughts, each moment became heavier than the last. Her sister, Emily, noticed Alex's growing distress and approached her one evening while they sat together on the porch watching fireflies dance around them under a blanket of stars. "You seem troubled," Emily said softly, concern etching across her features. Alex sighed deeply before replying, "It's about Mark. I think something is very wrong." Emily nodded knowingly. She too had sensed an unease lingering over their once happy gatherings. "There's something going on. We can't ignore it," she urged gently. The sisters shared silent glances filled with understanding, a bond forged by years of trust that told them both they would face whatever darkness lay ahead together. Each passing day made it harder for Alex to deny what lay beneath their familial ties. A weight of betrayal hung heavily over her heart like dark clouds threatening rain. He knew she needed answers, but feared discovering truths that could unravel everything they held dear. Shadows lengthened during those summer evenings, spent gathering around dinner tables full of laughter and stories from childhood's past. Tension simmered just below the surface, a secret waiting to emerge amid their idyllic lives. With every fiber of her being urging action yet fearing consequence, Alex resolved to dig deeper into Mark's life, a journey fraught with uncertainty, but fueled by love for her family. For now, though burdened by what she suspected could be true about Mark's actions, she clung tightly to hope. Hope for justice that might bring clarity and perhaps peace to all who loved him still, despite everything he might have done wrong behind closed doors. The family gathered for what seemed like a routine get-together. Alex's heart raced. A cheerful chatter around him felt like a shroud concealing the storm brewing within. He had seen the texts on Mark's phone, each word a dagger twisting deeper into his trust. A pain of betrayal gnawed at him, and he knew he needed to act. Emily was already suspicious. She had caught glimpses of Mark's flirtation with Jessica during their last outing. Her eyes met Alex's across the room, a silent understanding passing between them. They both felt the weight of their brother's deceit looming over the gathering, threatening to burst forth like an impending storm. That day at the cafe replayed in Alex's mind, a moment that shattered his belief in familial loyalty. Emily watched as Mark leaned too close to Jessica, whispering something that made her laugh in that intimate way, meant only for lovers. The pain of witnessing such betrayal ignited a fire inside Alex, a determination to confront this head-on. As dinner commenced, conversations flowed but stayed lighthearted. Alex played along, laughing when appropriate, all while formulating his plan in silence. Underneath it all lay an urgency to expose Mark for who he truly was. His brother might have charmed everyone with his charisma, but now it was time to unveil the truth behind that mask. After dessert was served and plates cleared away, Alex finally spoke up. "I think we need to talk about something important," he began cautiously but firmly. Eyes turned towards him, curiosity mingled with unease painted across their faces. "Family matters," he continued on cue, the false pretense wrapping around them like a comforting blanket in stark contrast to his own turbulent thoughts. He could feel Emily's support beside him. They were united in this mission. He glanced at Mark, whose confident smirk faltered slightly under scrutiny. In that moment, Alex decided no more hiding behind smiles or family ties. It was time for honesty. With resolve tightening around his chest like iron bands, he prepared himself mentally for what would come next. His heart pounded as adrenaline coursed through him. Soon, everything would change forever. The family meeting, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Alex sat at the head of the table, her heart pounding in her chest. He had gathered her parents and Emily under the guise of discussing important family matters, but she knew that tonight would change everything. The warm glow of the lights above seemed to contrast sharply with the cold reality about to unfold. John and Linda took their seats. Mark entered last, a confident smile plastered on his face. He greeted everyone warmly, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath Alex's calm exterior. He exchanged a knowing glance with Emily, who nodded in silent support. This was it, the moment they had both been waiting for. "Thank you all for coming," Alex began, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. "There's something very important we need to discuss regarding our family." Her eyes locked onto Mark's. He sensed an unusual tension, but brushed it off as typical sibling concerns. Alex took a deep breath and pulled out her laptop, projecting images onto the wall behind her. Odo's evidence of Mark's betrayal flashed into view. Snapshots of him and Jessica together at places he claimed he never visited. Flirtatious texts that left nothing to interpretation. Asps filled the room as John's hand shot up to cover his mouth in disbelief. Linda's expression shifted from confusion to horror as she began to piece together what was happening. Emily stood steadfastly by Alex's side, ready to back her sister through whatever came next. Alex said firmly but calmly, "This is your life we're looking at here, a life built on lies." Words hung heavily in the air. Mark's confident facade began to crack as he processed what was happening before him. "Oh, you've got this all wrong," Mark exclaimed defensively. "This isn't what it looks like." His voice shook slightly as his bravado faltered under their piercing gazes. Alex didn't let him sidestep responsibility any longer. She pressed on, with unwavering resolve. "Heard you speaking with Jessica," she continued relentlessly, recounting details of their conversations that left no doubt about his infidelity. "Doesn't matter, it's just harmless fun," Mark stammered, desperation creeping into his tone as he attempted emotional manipulation. "You don't understand how hard my life is." Emily stepped forward protectively beside Alex. "No more excuses. You've disrespected not only your wife but this entire family." Her words were sharp yet laced with pain for both their brother and sister-in-law caught in his web of deceit. Ark glanced around, each gaze bore down upon him like weights pressing against his shoulders, until finally landing on their parents' faces twisted in disappointment and shock. Dad, please," he pleaded weakly, now stripped of his previous confidence as tears brimmed in Linda's eyes while John shook his head slowly, unable to comprehend how deeply their son had betrayed them all. It's enveloped them, a heavy stillness, where hope once recited broken only by whispered exchanges among those present, trying desperately to process what they were witnessing unfold before them. With nowhere left for him to turn and every truth laid bare before them, all Mark crumpled under pressure like an empty shell devoid of pride or innocence, and instead fell back on anger, fueled by shameful recognition that there would be no escape from accountability this time around. And the facade shattered completely as emotions erupted within moment. Accusations flew across rooms filled with shattered trust, while feelings intensified into a cacophony refusing resolution. In that moment, a confrontation ignited beyond familial bonds as one sibling sought revenge against another, driven by love for those they cherished most. And amidst all chaos unfolding around them lay simply one undeniable fact. Mark had lost everything, and so too had their once harmonious family dynamic forever changed. The aftermath of the confrontation unfolded like a delicate tapestry unraveled, threads of betrayal and heartbreak woven through every fiber. The echoes of Alex's revelation faded into silence, an uneasy stillness filled the room. A weight of the truth crashed down upon them, leaving John and Linda grappling with the betrayal that had shattered their understanding of their son. John's face paled as he processed the evidence laid bare before him. How could you?" His voice trembled, each word laced with disbelief and disappointment. Linda's eyes glistened with tears, her heart breaking for the son she thought she knew. Guilt gnawing at her insides, a mother should have seen it coming, shouldn't she? Emily remained steadfast by Alex's side, offering him silent support as they faced their parents' pain together. Grief unlike any other they were mourning, not just Mark's actions, but also the loss of their family's innocence and innocence poisoned by lies. As days turned into weeks following that fateful night, Mark found himself increasingly isolated, spread like wildfire through their tight-knit community about his infidelities. Neighbors who once admired him now whispered behind closed doors, laughter turning to disdain at his expense. He had lost respect in a world where appearances mattered most. Meanwhile, Alex experienced a complex blend of emotions. The initial satisfaction from unveiling the truth gradually mingled with sorrow for what had been lost. Despite having achieved justice for himself and Emily, he mourned the brotherly bond now severed beyond repair. Memories flooded back, childhood adventures spent in laughter, and joy seemed like fragments from another life, one that had crumbled under the weight of betrayal. Family gatherings that continued without Mark. An emptiness lingered where his presence once filled vibrant spaces with energy and charm. Conversations flowed more easily without tension hanging over them, however. There was always an unspoken acknowledgement of what they had endured together. Emily reached out more frequently after everything settled down. Late-night talks became their refuge, sisters leaning on one another, as they navigated this new terrain forged by loyalty and shared pain. "We'll rebuild," Emily reassured Alex one night as they gazed up at a sky speckled with stars, each twinkle representing hope for brighter days ahead. Moments together emerged resilience. They vowed never to let anyone disrupt their newfound unity again. Family bonds, strengthened amidst adversity, served as reminders that love can persevere even when trust has been shattered. Months passed since that pivotal confrontation. Scars may fade, but memories would linger forevermore. The truth might have exposed Mark's flaws, but it also illuminated Alex's strength to confront harsh realities head-on. Each day brought opportunities for healing, as laughter began to fill spaces once haunted by sorrow. And so life moved forward. John and Linda learned to navigate parenting anew. Emily flourished alongside Alex, who remained determined to shield those he loved from future betrayals, forever guarding against deceit, hidden beneath seemingly innocent facades, while cherishing those true connections that had weathered storms unbroken by treachery. This journey, marked by revelations, both painful yet liberating, came a lesson worth imparting. Sometimes exposing dark secrets leads not only toward justice, but also paves paths toward rediscovering unconditional love among family ties bound tightly through trials, endured together, a testament that even in brokenness beauty can emerge anew when hearts beat united against all odds.